He said Man United betrayed him. But how does that work when he makes 500k in weekly savings? I mean 5 in his weekly earnings. I think Ronaldo's lost his bearings. Ten Hag been here only like 3 months. So how does the beef concern him? What? He said Man United betrayed him. But how does that work when he makes 500k in weekly savings? I mean 5 in his weekly earnings. I think Ronaldo's lost his bearings. Ten Hag's been here only like 3 months. So how does the beef concern him? What? Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. We're back again with another show. It's been a minute. Look, we all been busy. I've been away personally, but now we're finally back. We're able to do a match breakdown, a post-match breakdown, give our views and opinion, and you have the opportunity to leave your comments as usual. Look, we're going to talk about Manchester United versus Fulham. Man United got that win. We're going to talk about Garnacho. We're going to talk about the lineup. We're going to talk about Ten Hag. We're going to talk about everything revolving that game, and we can't not talk about the biggest name that's trending right now on social media. Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United betrayed them apparently. We're going to get into that, but first let's talk about the game. Manchester United got a last gasp win. There's no better feeling than getting that last gasp win against your rival. Well, they're not really a rival, but they were a rival for those 90 minutes. You get me? Look, we got the win. We're still in the top 4 race. Look, I'm excited, I must say, but there's a lot of improvement yet again that we're going to be talking about that we need to, just improve on. So, NK, look, how you doing, by the way? You're glowing, bro. I don't even know what is this ring light 2.0, bro. I don't even know what's going on right now, but you're
I'm using what Ronaldo used for the interview. That's what I'm using, man. But look, I'm good, man. I'm just here, Monday, Sunday, whatever you want to call it. We're just here, man.
Ed Weezy, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Welcome back. It's been a minute.
Thank you. We're here, man.
He's put a few weights by eating Chick-fil-A.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. That state here is mad, bro. I can't survive there. I don't know how. I don't even know. Look, NK, I don't know how you maintain your size, bruv, out there. Nah. That place is a mess, bro.
Place a mess. Look, they eat junk food. Food is heavy. Every time I go, I have to always bring some home, man. Bro. Yeah, to take our books.
Well, let's get into it anyway. Look, Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Look, what can I say? Let's get into it. Look, Garnacho. Look, I just want to jump straight into it with Garnacho because there's a lot to talk about, and we're going to probably deviate from the game and talk about Ronaldo. But let's talk about Garnacho and his brilliance. Look, he came on as a sub again and made an impact. Now, my question to you guys is Garnacho knocking on the door, or is Garnacho simply going to be an impact player? Like, what does the future hold for Garnacho?
I think it's in his hands, isn't it? Like, recent reports have come out saying that the reason he wasn't in preseason was because he's got a poor attitude, isn't it? In terms of like turning up late for training. So is it really in his hands? Like, I think Ten Hag said in an interview, and he says like the more he improves in areas with his attitude, the more he'll play. So it sounds like he's got all the tools, and he's got they want to play him, but Ten Hag is very like meticulous, isn't it? I don't think he's just gonna start someone just because they're really good. I think you have to show him that you've got the attitude and stuff like that. So I think he's got the skill set to be starting and doing well, but it's also going to be based on his attitude. So I think that's, as long as he plays well, trains well, he'll start. If not, you see Ten Hag, he ain't got no problem dropping people. So I think the reason why we didn't probably see Garnacho more was because his attitude wasn't 100%. But I think he's shown that he's got the quality. It's just that he just needs to, that just has to match his attitude off the pitch when it comes to training and probably other stuff. But yeah, he's a talented player.
What do you think about it, NK? Do you feel like you think Ten Hag was right, and Bruno as well? They both recently came out and talked about his attitude and laid it out there in the press and stuff, and you know that had a bit of conflict in like the whole podcast world, and a few other people saying they should have kept it behind the scenes or whatever like that. What's your thoughts on it as well? And do you feel like he's knocking on a door? Do you feel like he'll just be an impact man?
I think he's doing more. I think he's doing more than knock on the door. Personally, I think he's doing more than knock on the door too, because he got a big opportunity because none of our wingers seems to be performing. You know, Sancho went there. because that was for Sancho. He kind of like didn't do well. Now Rashford is there too. He seems to prefer to play in the central position than play on the on the wing too. So he is doing more than knock on the door too. But with this manager too, he likes things to be. He likes his players to play in a certain way where he give them information. So he's still young. He's learning. So there's going to be a lot of things that he need to kind of like take on board. So that's why I feel like even though he's good and all, I think the manager will slowly kind of like ease him in and kind of like bring him in, because I even saw the previous game against Villa where he kind of like started out too. He did all right, but you could tell that the physical side of the game too was still kind of like lacking. This game, when he came on, fullbacks were tired. He was able to kind of like run at them too. So I think the manager just needs to pick and choose what games will suit his skill set, while he's kind of like learning that like the other aspect of the game too. Because soon the fullbacks will clock onto how he plays, and they will try to kind of like double up on him. But that comes with experience too, how he kind of is gonna like deal with that. But for now too, one thing I got to say is that he got the best manager that if he's willing to learn, he will literally kind of like teach him and guide him to be one of the best too. So it's all about need to learn and apply it on the pitch. And as long as he's doing that too, and the other senior players are not performing, I think there's going to be he's going to play a very key role in the team this season.
Look, Garnacho genuinely like has people on the edge of their seats. He's genuinely one of those guys that people are excited about because he's a young player. He's only 18. Part of our youth setup now. We bought him from Atletico Madrid. And look, this is one of those things that when you're looking at our youth setup right now, we look at guys like get us, you look at who's the other guy, the one that went on loan, Tahith Chong. You look at all of these guys, even back in the days of Yanaz and all of these guys, and one things that rang true with these guys are that was Yanaz, should I say, he was a skillful guy, but he was a guy where you touch him, he falls over. Do you know what I mean? Amad Diallo, all of these guys, there was always something about them where the manager didn't really trust them to go full throttle. But with Garnacho, it seems like he's winning the trust of the manager. So hopefully, you know what I mean, we can see more of him. But you know what? It was good to see my man like Martial leading the line, back fully fit, it seems. Or not fully fit, but he's back in the frame, leading our line. What was your thoughts on his performance? Because I see him come on the pitch and he was involved in a goal again. You see him where he likes to drop deep a little bit, he gets involved in a play. He's led, like his input led to one of the goals. I think he dropped deep. He laid off the ball to, was it Bruno or something like that? Who then had I say it was a pass. Edwin says it was a shot, and then Eriksen benefited from that. But what was your thought? Do you think that was do you feel like that was a pass, or do you feel like that was a shot from Bruno?
No, with Bruno, you just never know whether it's a shot or pass. So it is what it is, man. But with Martial, I thought he done okay. I thought he done okay. He had some chances where he should have scored. He had two good chances where he should have scored. One of them was a header, and then one of them too was that kind of a shot too. So much sharpness wasn't there. He could have, on a day where we were not playing good, he had like two best opportunities to kind of like kill the game, and he didn't do that, But yeah, he still got a lot to do. He still got a lot to do. I'm just since he came back, I feel like at times that whole play and link-up play is good, but then at times too he's gonna have to do the other side of the game, which is running behind. It's not every day you want to do that link-up kind of like play. So it's one of those ones where he has to learn. But I just feel like that position is not going to be his, because Rashford feel like he want to play that side too, And I think certain type of like games will shoot Rashford running behind. Other games will require Martial to kind of like help us, because at the game we were struggling in the middle, man. We were struggling in the middle, and we needed him more. But I don't know whether it was a case where we couldn't find him more to kind of like help us, bring us into the game. But he just came back from injury, so I'm not going to make too much stuff out of his performance. But yeah, he should have scored at least one goal on Sunday.
Look, that's the thing, Edwin, as well. Like, it's like to NK's point, it's like what we've been echoing for since the season started, basically, is that we're not clinical in front of goal. We have a lot of these chances that we're not putting away. And, you mentioned, Martial having two opportunities where he could have put the game to bed. I remember Eriksen having opportunities as well where he he missed an open goal kind of from Bruno's like.
And McTominay had a sitter of a header too that he also failed to kind of like score too.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's proven to be an issue up top, and I just see it now. Obviously, what's happened in the media is sort of made this topic even more evident in terms of who we need coming in January, because we really do need someone coming in January to fill the void, to try and get some goals on a score on the sheet. Look, we're 3 points behind Tottenham at the minute, but we're behind in goal difference. It could be goal difference to decide.
And we got a game in hand, by the way.
We got a game in hand, and if we win that, it will be goal difference that's separating us and Tottenham. And we really need to be thinking about being able to score, like beat the opposition by more than one goal. So Edwin, my question to you is like, look, Martial, do you go into the second half of the season with Rashford, Martial, now the emergence of Garnacho now? Are you looking at bringing in another attacker like I don't know, a Gakpo, for example, or do you feel like that could potentially inhibit someone like Garnacho's improvement, or what's your thoughts on it?
It all depends, really, isn't it? Because it's like the way things are looking is that Ronaldo's not going to play for Man United again. The way things are looking, you just never know in football, because there's been, remember with the whole thing with like, what's his name from Arsenal, when he threw away the armband, people were like, he will never play again.
Saga.
He played, so you never know what's going to happen, but it's very unlikely he'll play. So we do need another striker. You can actually see it, like we are struggling. And look, and another thing is like Ten Hag came out and he said like Martial is like got the speed, he can finish. But the problem is that you can't rely on him for a whole season, because we don't know whether he'll stay fit. Because look, even when he came off from Man City, he scored 2 goals. He should have scored, but he's still sharp enough to get in the positions. And I think a fully fit running Martial is dangerous, but it's too unpredictable.
Yeah. Like
he could be fit for the rest of the season, but it's very likely he'll get injured again. So come January, I think we need another striker, because I think with Ronaldo, I don't like he sealed his fate when he said he doesn't respect the manager. So if we look at what strikers are left, it's really Martial and Rashford, isn't it? That he will play up front. And for the games that we've got and injuries is not enough, because there's no one else that could play even if he plays like a false line in Bruno, I don't think that would be enough. So we definitely need some more striking. So maybe even like a Gakpo, because he could play across the whole 3, isn't it? So but we do need a new striker. We need another striker.
I think I would agree as well, And I'm worried, I'm worried about.
But we'll get taxed though. If it's January,
massively. And I'm worried as well. So obviously, Man United still hanging on to this top 4 race. We're in and around sort of the discussion. My worry is that, let me ask you this, NK. Do you feel like this break is timely, the World Cup break? Because I look at it like, Manchester United, we're still in a running, we're still in a race for the top 4, but you look at the likes of City, they dropped points recently. Arsenal was on crazy form. Liverpool seems to be picking up form. Tottenham's not playing too well, but grinding up results. How do you see Chelsea as well? Is just not in good form. How do you see the break? Is the break beneficial for us, or is it poor timing? Like, what do you make of the break?
The break is not beneficial to us. It's a godsend to us. It is a godsend to us. We needed it so bad, man. We needed it, and I feel like the manager himself, I feel that there was kind of like a bit of like a confusion from his side himself in terms of like how to get the balance right of the team. I've seen him kind of like try to change a lot of like details in the team, Even on the fullback aspect of it, he doesn't really know whether to go with Luke Shaw or go with Malacia at times too. In the middle too, at times he's trying to play Bruno as a second striker too. At times too, he's giving Bruno the freedom to get involved in the build-up play. We saw him try Van der Beek too as the 10 to kind of like give the team something different too. So, and even the wingers too, he's unsure whether to play Rashford as a striker or as a left wing. I think he has learned so much about the team, but he hasn't really had a time on the training pitch to get one or two things right. So this break is going to be a very welcome addition to him. Sit down, view some of the tapes that we played in, and kind of like see where the team is doing and how he feel like he can kind of like help us get to the next kind of like level that we need. Because at times we are creating chances, but we're not scoring too. But at times too, one of the biggest weaknesses is when teams press us, our midfield cannot cope. We just cannot cope. We don't know how to play from the back when we get pressed. So I think it's a good thing for him to kind of like go there to say, see, look, this is what I got. Even if I don't sign players in January, this is what I got. So how do I get the balance right? What wingers am I playing with? Garnacho is coming. Is it okay for me to play Garnacho with Martial up front? Or is it going to be a Rashford or Martial? So I think he just needs to sit down and just reassess the squad and just literally try and come up with his best 11, because all this up and down changing is going to come back and bite him. Definitely going to come back and bite him.
I look at the team and it's just so left heavy, isn't it? It's like you've got Anthony, he wasn't available for the last few games, and then everyone on the right again. It's just that same problem. I was happy we got Anthony because he could just stay on that right, and that's his own. But then you see the emergence of Garnacho, and he's a left-sided guy, and we've got the Rashfords and Martial. Whoever can play on that side and Sancho, even though he's not in form, but he's not, it's just so left-sided. It's just heavy, and I feel like we need Anthony back for the balance, and hopefully, these guys have a good World Cup. They come back unscathed, and then we go and push on for this top four, man, because I think I agree. I feel like what I'm hoping for is that we come back after this World Cup. This crazy form that Arsenal's in, I just don't understand this form that Arsenal's in, bro. Like, literally, they're like... It
will diminish, man. It will go. Don't worry about that. It will diminish. It will go.
They're 11 points clear, of Man United. That's crazy, bro.
How many points are they clear of Man United?
Like 11 or something like that. And they've played the same amount of
8
games.
Points. Is it 11?
Something dumb, like 11. And
we'll catch them. We'll catch them. Don't worry, man. We'll catch them. We'll finish on top of Arsenal, man.
Bro, they played 14 games as well. I couldn't even look at the game in hand and be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, they're literally on smoke, you know what I mean? And it's just going to be a long, long grind. And if Arsenal win the Premier League, my Lord. Anyway, but let's move on to how many? Did you check it?
No, I'm going to check now, but I think NK said is definitely a good point that the break has come, especially after this interview that's about to come out. It would have been so like difficult for, like, you know what I mean? Because no one would want to try and disrespect Ronaldo in that team, but they're not happy with him.
Let's get onto that, because that's a good segue to get
it's 9 points.
Is it 9 points?
We're on 26. No, actually, it's 11, sorry. Yeah. We're on 26, they're on 37. So 11, sorry. 11, and we played the same amount of games as them.
Bro,
we'll catch them out. Don't worry, man. We'll catch them out.
But I'm hoping that, things change to benefit us and flop these other guys. Not like no hate, but it's just the way it is, bro. Like, I'm hoping them man come back and just go on some losing runs, because, bro, they got some hard pitches when they come back, to be honest. Because before, I think when they come back, they need to play a Brighton, Newcastle, Tottenham, and then us, like back to back. So man, don't worry about us now. They are under control. Partey after the World Cup will be finished. He's gonna win the World Cup for Ghana. He'll be finished. He'll be tired. He'll be drunk. Don't worry. Look, guys, let's get on to the topic at hand. The elephant in the room: Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo feels betrayed. He feels betrayed by Manchester United. He feels betrayed by Eric Ten Hag. He feels betrayed at the board. He said that certain senior figures up there, 2 or 3 of them, or whoever, tried to get rid of him last season, and equally even this season tried to force him out of the club. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo feels let down by that. He feels let down by the training facilities, returned to Manchester United. Things are still in the same place as when he left, when it was like 21, 22, 23. He said the training ground, the facilities, you know what I mean, the technology, everything is just in the mud. And this is things that is not necessarily surprising to Manchester United fans, because this is things that we've already been screaming about, things we've already been protesting about, and the reason why we want the Glazers to move on. But Cristiano Ronaldo has come out in a fiery interview with Piers Morgan and lays it all bare. And quite frankly, like, not only does he throw the Glazers in the mud, he kind of throws the fans under the. I feel like he says that he loves the fans, but I feel like what he done, I don't know, it was rough, because if you're hurting Manchester United, you're hurting the fans. So what's your thoughts? So anyway, what's your thoughts on the interview? Was Ronaldo in the right, or was he in the wrong for what he did with Piers Morgan? NK, I can see you looking, so you can go and take this question.
Look, to me, it's a tricky one for me, because one part of it, what he said, okay, you don't say that, especially when you were current Man United player too. But then some part of it, some of the stuff that he said too, as a fan, I agree with that, because that's what we have been echoing for a very long time, when he's speaking about the club facilities not being up to scratch, we've been echoing that, when you're talking about the pool, the gym, speaking about there are other people at the club that is stopping Man United from being at the level of like a City and Man City. It's something that we've been echoing. So it's important for someone like that to kind of like come and say that, the bit where he kind of like go into the manager and just say, oh, you know what, the manager, what do you call it, show me disrespect, so I don't respect him too. That's a bit that I just say, okay, you know what, yes, it's fine. Sometimes we all work with some of our bosses that we respect or don't respect, but at the end of the day, we still work with them anyway. But you don't go out openly and say that, that's wrong for him to say that. But ultimately, what I take from it is he's leaving. This is a way of forcing the club, because he already said it, in the summer he was just there. He wanted to leave. The club made him stay. And this has happened before. It happened with Pogba, where he wanted to go. They made him stay. And he lost his commitment too. So ultimately, this is it. To me, I just feel like, whether he respects the manager, whether he's not, it's irrelevant now, because it looks like he has done an interview to try and go. And the ultimate question
Dean
is,
Henderson on ether mode. He done it.
I
was supposed to come in and play theme. I was supposed to play You Can Hate Me Now. I was supposed to play 50 Cent, and I don't even know what was his song again. That one, 50 Cent.
Many men.
So it just depends. Look,
I might have to do that still in the edits.
Yeah, he want to go. Ronaldo want to leave, and the question is, will this club actually make a footballing decision and actually make him go, which obviously will make the manager happy, or will they do what they always do best and take a commercial side out of it and try to repair the relationship? Because I tell you what, come the 1st of January, Ronaldo will still be a Man United player, and I will not be shocked if this guy still play for this club again. I will not be shocked, man.
I'll be very shocked. If he can repair, if we repair that, I'll be very shocked. That there is nuts. Like, that's only like a minute or two worth of quotes.
But fam, let me say this, because obviously I don't know, maybe in the summertime you done your research, but there was two incidents with Ten Hag. One of them was that one kid was playing Noah, wasn't listening to instructions. He screamed at him, took him off. That guy never played for Ajax again. Same thing too. There was an incident to where he asked one of the senior players to warm up and come onto the pitch. He didn't come on. Guy never played for him again. Ronaldo done the same thing with Ten Hag. A few weeks later, he's back into the team, captain of the team. So it just shows you, man, this club run different to other places.
It's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting one, because look, this is a guy, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got near enough almost 500 million Instagram followers. Twitter, 100+ million. I don't know what he else is on his other social medias, but he's got the world listening to him. He's the most, top 5, top 10 influential athletes out there in the world. And what he's done, and I hear what you're saying as well, because in certain aspects, I agree. Like, I feel like when he's calling out the Glazers and calling out the club facilities, that's calling out the Glazers, being like dinosaurish in terms of like how we're moving, operating. Look, the world's listening. Where us fans are chanting here and there and doing our little protest, Glazers out with our green and yellow, whatever, smoke, talk, whatever it is. Look, that could only go so far. Ronaldo's reach is across the world, across the globe. Man United's is, but our fan base collectively is not enough. And I feel like it's going to force the Glazers' hand. And I feel like, obviously, they're in a position where they can't play Ronaldo again. So they're going to have to dip into the market where probably the Glazers are thinking, I want to save my budget to the summer. And even if, you know what I mean? I just feel like it's unrepairable. I mean, the fans at this minute, it's just, there's nothing he can do, man. But Edwin, look, what are your thoughts on the whole situation? Look, the one bit I didn't touch on as well is Ronaldo. You know, there's a lot more context to it. One bit I didn't touch on is Ronaldo saying, you know, the board, the hierarchy didn't quite trust him when he said that his daughter was ill. And remember, this happened over the transfer window. He didn't show up to pre-season and all of that stuff. Certain fans thought he was engineering a move away, which, you know, it seemed like his agent was on trying to do that. But Ronaldo come out and said, you know what, they didn't trust me. My daughter was ill, especially having a child pass away not too long ago as well, earlier on. It's a sensitive topic, it's a sensitive matter. So obviously I approached it with caution when I first heard it. But what's your thoughts as well on the overall, like, just interview?
Look, as I said, I need to see the whole interview because context is anything, isn't it? Like, we could say something and someone could clip something out and just in the whole conversation, but from the bits we've seen, it doesn't look good. But we do have to look at it as a whole as 90 minutes. But as I said to you offline, I'm keeping the same energy. If what he's saying is true and they didn't support him when his daughter was ill and they allowed the narrative to play that he was maneuvering, if they knew that his daughter was ill and wanted to spend time with her, and if they allowed the narrative to play that he wanted to leave, then it is what it is. You know, I think for anyone, especially your father, your family comes first. So he was probably, if it's true what he said, that I can see why he feels how he feels. And and that anger probably stayed with him. And what if it's been done wrong by a place you consider like family, then you're not good. Your heart's not going to be in it, because I don't think he'll lie about that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And for like him to say that the board didn't trust him, as I said, we will never know. There's always three truths, isn't it? There's the one side's truth, there's another side's truth, and there's the actual truth. We'll never know.
I think what it is that, you know what, and then it's just like us too. Look, sometimes we call in sick to work when we actually not sick, you know. But at the end of the day, our bosses have no option but to take our word for it. You cannot tell me like, hey, I don't believe you, and come to work. So you have to take back. What was so crucial was that those kind of like tours that were done to like Thailand and Australia, Ronaldo was a big kind of like part of the commercial teams, you know, going there because, you know, the fans wanted to come and see him. So him missing it would have been a big. I believe he was still engineering a move, you know, so let's not forget about that too. But maybe his daughter too was ill too. So 2 and 2 can be 2 too.
Do you feel like Eric Ten Hag, I'm thinking it like this, like, was it a communication breakdown? Was it like lack of like transparency? I'm sitting there thinking, look, I swear I remember Eric Ten Hag saying he hasn't spoken to Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, but I think what Ronaldo was saying is that he did tell them that his daughter wasn't well, and they didn't believe him, and that's what made him wanted to leave. So I think it was a question of whether maybe he just said, hey, you know what, I wanted to miss the preseason tour because my daughter wasn't well, and then they were like, nah, man, you know what, you charging a lot of BS, and we don't believe you, and you need to come. And then he but the truth is, after Man United didn't get a Champions League, he wanted to leave anyways. You know, maybe his daughter was ill too, so that was one of the two factors too. But he wanted to leave.
I thought I could remember Ten Hag saying, like, being interviewed and queried, and
but then, I mean, me personally, I just feel like Ronaldo war is not really with the manager. You know, it's not really with the manager. It's more to do with the club.
I think because of his stature, I think he would have spoken to the higher ups because he doesn't have a relationship with Ten Hag at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it was more.
No, but he's still pissed though. He's still pissed that Eric Ten Hag's not choosing him in a starting 11.
Yeah, but then that one, he can be pissed, but he's not playing well anyway. He can be pissed. Like any player who's not playing is always going to be pissed, but he cannot come out and say, oh, you know what, Tim Hag didn't play me, but then I was training well. He can never do that. You know, to be honest with you, I feel like with this whole interview, the only thing negative that he could have said with Tim Hag was to do with like not bringing him against Tottenham. Apart from that, I don't think he can say anything negative about the manager. I really don't think so.
An interesting point, I don't know how true it is they've come out and said that Ronaldo was informed on Thursday that he wouldn't be in the starting lineup, but he'll be in the squad. Then he told them he's ill.
No, but I think it's a lie. I feel like this interview.
I think that as well. I don't think.
I think the interview was. I think the minute United found out that Ronaldo was going to actually do the interview with Morgan, because they would have known it. They would have known it like a week ago.
They only found out on the way back from the Fulham game.
Don't believe that, because look, don't believe that because the article was printed in the Sun. United go guys that normally come on their MUTV channel that got good connection there. A big interview like that gets shoot. Don't go without some of the journalists that work for the Sun not knowing. And if United didn't know about this interview until yesterday, then I'm sorry, they're not even doing their job right, because they should know about this kind of stuff. So they should know.
Either way, they're wrong. If they didn't know, they should have been made it aware, because I think even Rio said in his thing, when I saw it, we were saying that Ronaldo's been saying for a long time, I'm going to release a statement, I'm going to release. So they should have been on top of it.
Last season, yeah. Edwin, this video has been edited, literally has been edited. And if a big club like Man United, if all this stuff can go on behind the scene for them not to know about it, then I'm sorry, that is even wrong itself. I feel they knew about it. That's why, because when Ronaldo didn't play on Thursday in the League Cup, they said he was ill. They asked the manager, is he going to play again? I feel like they knew exactly what was going to come out. They just maybe didn't know the full extent of it, but they knew that interview had definitely been done. That one, I know that for sure they did. That's why he wasn't part of the matchday squad.
It's a mad one with Cristiano.
I just feel like his time's over, man. Like
it is over.
Like his legacy cemented in Man United history. You can't take that away. Like what he's done, and he will go down as one of the, maybe even short, but top 10 footballers of all time, right? But his time at Man United's done. Sometimes they just got to cut their losses. Whether they release him on a free, pay him out, it's just not going to end well either way. You can't keep him now, because then what message does it send to all the other players? And he doesn't want to be there no more. Just let him go. His time's done. And he's not. You can't force a player to stay at a team. And to be honest, Man United have to take blame for it. They should have just let him go in the summer. Whether that's let him go for free, you know what I mean? They should have prepared, because that money they would have taken off him, because he's on about $500,000 a week, around that. That money could have been invested in a new player.
But here was the thing, though, and this is when it get very tricky, because you have a player where the manager clearly didn't see him as part of this plan because of the way he wanted to play. So he wanted to get rid of him. The player himself wanted to go. And the big issue was the club. The club was the one who did not allow him to go. Yeah. So
but this is the interesting note, NK, because this just sounds confusing to me and contradictory, because it was, at first I was thinking, commercial reasons, they want to keep him, like the Glazers want to keep him, make money, whatever like that. But then this guy's saying that they tried to force him out. The manager and senior hierarchy tried to get rid of him even last season. But now, and look, Eric Ten Hag says the manager tried to get rid of him, and hierarchy saying they tried to get rid of him. But this is the same people that were saying now didn't want to let him go. I don't quite it was saying, terminate his contract. So what do you think it comes down to? Is it the money? I don't know. Was it the money not paying out Ronaldo?
Because here is the thing, because it's a question of with the whole blame game about, they wanted to force me out. Is this simple? Ronaldo himself want to leave. He knows that there's a fact that he cannot get a team to pay for a transfer fee for him because he's still under contract. So he's going to do everything in his power to get a club to terminate his contract. Now, if it's true that the club wanted to force him out, I'm sure that they would have been happy with his contract getting terminated. But the question is, under what condition was that termination? Is it a case where he was going to be paid the remainder of his contract, or whether they're going to say like, no, we're going to release you on a free without no money paid. So it's just one of those ones where that bit there, Ronaldo obviously is going to tell the story to benefit him, make himself look good. And on United side too, they're going to say it in a way where it's going to make them look good. The people that lose out is us, the fans, and the manager, because all we want is the team to be doing well. And this cat of mouse don't benefit us, you know. The truth of the matter is, you got an unhappy player account, not just any unhappy player, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is unhappy, saying that he's being forced out, the manager is trying to force him out. So whatever the case is going to be, whether he want to leave or the club is forcing him out, he is unhappy. And when he's unhappy, he can be very, very destructive. So the question is, someone at the club need to take the situation into their own matters and resolve that. And to me, there's only one way to resolve it, is by making the player leave. You know, because you cannot do that. We've done it in the past. Pogba wanted to go. They made him stay. We always make force players to stay when they don't want to stay, you know? So it is just one of those ones, because me personally, I just feel like the club will still find a way to make this guy stay. I really feel like it.
That will hurt him more. That will hurt him more, because I feel like this was his last hand. He played the ultimate hand, like he got like the full house if it's poker. Do you understand? And now,
but then he ended the interview, or there was a statement that come out to say like, look, Ronaldo felt like it was a good time to do the interview. He can go to the World Cup, and when he come back, resolve the issue with Man United. That's exactly what he said. So everything's
I think that
PR,
means like resolve it to like leave, rather than resolve it to like squash beef and be getting the captain.
Look, they're even seeking legal advice, isn't it? So even they're waiting to hear the full interview.
Yeah, I read that as well. I feel like they're waiting for Wednesday, Thursday, then they'll address it. But I think they came out and acknowledged it.
They already know what they want to do. They
know already.
So what do you think they're gonna do, Edwin?
Look, this is what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to terminate his contract, right? But the way they do
Not
it,
pay him.
But they need to do it in a way that is like NK said, they have to do it in a professional way. So I won't be surprised if they've seen the video already. They know what they want to do, but they have to play the game. They can't just say, we're doing this to Ronaldo, because then people will be like, you claim that you don't know about the video. So they're going to wait for it to air. They'll probably make an official statement by the end of the week or early next week. They claim that they're having legal advice. They know what they're going to do. I really feel like they want to terminate.
There's grounds to terminate his contract without paying him his fee.
Because if I remember right, like certain contracts, any working contract, there's clauses, I think, in them about the way, like, just... there's something about the way you like
Ralph,
speak.
Listen, Edwin, Ralph was speaking bad about the club. Ralph was speaking bad about the club. He still got
Kanye 2.0.
Huh?
It's Kanye West 2.0.
I said Ralph was speaking bad about the club. He still got paid off full contract.
No. I know, but the thing is that he got paid off contract because he had a 2-year contract, isn't it, with them?
Exactly.
Ronaldo's one ends in the summer, so if it was me, just pay the 6 months left, just pay him.
But then here's the tricky part. You got an employee coming out to say that I'm being forced out. So when you pay him off, does that not kind of like fit into his narrative that he's being forced off because he didn't want to come on to preseason because his daughter is not well? So legally wise, he can just go say like, I'm being fired for not doing nothing wrong, because just because he come out and say anything that Ronaldo has said in that interview, I don't think legally, because he's too smart to say anything that will hurt him legally. So if they come out and terminate his contract, to be honest with you, it's a win-win for him. He get his money, and then the narrative in which that he's spreading that they wanted to force him out then become true at the same time too. But if Man United is a footballing club, they will not care anyways, because they say, you know what, we are doing this in the name of football. But United don't run like a football club, and they will not want to give Ronaldo what Ronaldo wants just like that. And this is what I feel like it will be tricky.
Ronaldo has played a smart game. Like all the balls in his court. Like what that interview helps him more than it helps the club, because, like you say, if they now pay him off and sack him, it falls into the narrative that they're trying to get rid of him, right? If they keep him, it's like you're keeping him against his wishes. So it works better for him.
But that's what I said to you. If Man United run like a football club, they wouldn't care whether the narrative fits him or not. You still pay him, you still make him go, and if that get addressed, look, it's simple. We have a player who's unhappy, come out, disrespected the manager, and we feel like we had to, let him go and part ways. Simple as that, no issue whatsoever, and that's what you address it. So whether you want to force him out or not, you say yes. We did because he didn't fit how the manager wanted to do, and they go. But then because we don't run like that and we don't put footballing decision aside, they will want to be technical about that, So to me, we have not seen the whole end of this saga. It is going to be, I won't be surprised if Ronaldo come back, he get frozen out of the team, but then he's still going to be at the club getting paid, and he'll probably will be training and still be getting paid. I would not be surprised if that happens. I just will not be surprised about it.
It's going to be interesting though. Ronaldo's a guy that's 37 going on 38. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Ronaldo backs himself. He's always backed himself. That's why it's Cristiano Ronaldo. But it's interesting to see what team, Champions League team, top elite team, is going to be having Ronaldo starting.
And also, Femi, another thing too is the whole point that even Man United will ask one Ronaldo off is to get him off the wage bill. So if you're going to pay him off that full wage bill, it means that it does not necessarily help us in terms of like trying to recruit, because we were trying to get him off the wage bill so that the money that we are going to save will go towards getting a new player. Now, if you pay him off, where are you going to get the extra money to then go get a player? Because technically, you're not saving no money. What money are you saving?
I'm already hearing financial fair play talks and all this stuff. I'm just like, bro.
Basically, if we pay him off, is what, about 12 million?
Well, I don't know. But what's that, 500 a week?
500 a week is what? 2 million a month, right?
What times what? 25 weeks, 26 weeks?
No, it'll be the last 6 months of his contract.
Yeah. So it's still working.
It's about 12 million.
But then 12 million, that's 12 million that you could have, if someone actually come and buy him, which we know no one is going to come and buy him and take that away.
No one will buy him.
Exactly. So the question is, you have to pay him off. And if you pay him off, where are you then saving the money? So to be honest, look, it's the stuff. All I'm saying is, we the fans, we are going to lose out, because whether Ronaldo stay or Ronaldo go, it affects us. Because to me, if he leaves, I don't think they're bringing a good replacement for him. They're not going to go sign any player.
I beg to differ, I beg to differ. I feel like it's been the big events like this that actually forced the Glazers' hands. And whether they borrow the money from the bank again, or whether they pull money out their own pockets, which I doubt, I feel like we are going to dip into the market. I feel like before this happened, Man United would have been comfortable looking at the Choupo-Motings of this world, or just grinding it out and not going for anyone because they're like, oh, Garnacho's come, he's the new saviour. But I feel like with this, I know, but just because he's an attacker, I feel like we would have just grinded. They would have been like, oh, Martial's fit now, he's back. But the thing about Manchester United, what I did notice over the last how many years, is that Man United like to take away the negativity with this positive spin. They'll throw stuff in the media about players that we're linked to, and they'll try and do this certain thing. And right now, the negativity around Man United, following that, like the whole world is talking about this Ronaldo thing right about now. And Man United's PR team is going, like their heads are spinning right now, thinking, how do we detract from this? How do we, World Cup's going to be there, which is going to be good. It's not going to stop people talking about Manchester United and what Cristiano, like in the immediate term. And I feel like Manchester United is going to, I think the Glazers are going to be forced, because if Ronaldo does leave, if he leaves, then you've got a gap there. You've got a gap sooner than you wanted, because you wanted to ride out another 6 months and you can't do that now. And even if he does stay and he eats the bench, you still got a gap there because you've lost the player, virtually lost the player. Yeah, you might be training with the under 21s or whatever he's doing, wherever he is. He might even be in Portugal, because I don't see him even training with under 21s, earning his money. You're going to have a gap. So you've lost the player. So we have to bring and fast track our transfer activity forward. So where the Glazers is like, no, we're not spending in January, we're going to wait till the summer. What you may find is we spend now and then spend less than the summer. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be like, oh, we're going to spend like 150 million in the summer when we're spending our money now. I feel like they're just going to dip from that budget and draw it down.
But then the thing is, most of the players that we're trying to sign, for example, Osman, for example, he's like, let's just say he's one of our target. Guy is playing Champions League football. He's in a title race in Italy. No way he's coming in January.
I think Gakpo is the only realistic forward as well, and the right back that we've been linked with from Bayern. Is it Bayern Leverkusen? I think those are the only ones.
Even
and it'll be expensive still.
Even Gakpo, for example, is he another stopgap or is he going to be the main thing? Because ultimately, Man United are looking to challenge for the league. Is he going to be the striker that you're going to do that, or you're just going to buy him for the January and then come the summer to go try and get another striker? There's just so many questions, so many questions that we don't know.
I think the best option, if Ronaldo is going to, Man United might just even be better just loading off Ronaldo. And like, if they can't sell him, loan him off, let whoever he goes to pay a percentage of his weekly thing.
That's a good shout, actually. That's a good shout.
And then come summer, let him go. You know what I mean? Loan him out, let him go for the 6 months. You're not going to get a team that will pay the full 500
wages, but at least some is better than nothing.
Yeah, like even half or a bit more. Let him go for the 6 months. Summer comes, he goes. Then you don't have to think about the big hurrah, trying to get a club. Because right now in January, he will be eligible to play in the Champions League, right? Because he hasn't played in it. So he can go to a Champions League club on loan for 6 months.
I don't think Ronaldo at this point even care about Champions League. I think after the World Cup, I think in terms of like playing competitive football like that, I think he's done. Personally, I feel like after the World Cup, I think he's done with Europe football. I think he'll want to try himself in a different continent like that, America, and try to explode after the World Cup.
I don't know if he's gonna want to do that.
I think he will.
I feel like he's still gonna want to test himself.
I think he cares too much about his stats being cemented that I think there's some he wants to play in the Champions League, I think, for at least one more season. I
can see him still wanting to stay. Even the way he's talking in the interview about Rooney, do you know what I mean? He's ugly or whatever it is.
If he's to play for the Champions League,
I'm still playing a high level. I'm like, what?
What team? Because the way he's looking now, this is, for example, I don't see Ronaldo going to any top league to go and be scoring goals. He can't go back to Italy. I don't know about that too. But maybe if France can score goals there, but only Paris Saint-Germain can afford him. Bayern Munich, I don't think they want him because they had opportunity to sign him. Guy is getting old. He's not going to have an impact in teams like how he used to. So, and he comes with a big baggage. So the question is, who's going to take that? If he go to Portugal, maybe he can get like about 15, 20 goals a season because their league, that's how their league is. But I don't see him going to any European top club and having that kind of like a big impact where he wants to start and scoring. I just don't see him doing that. I just don't see him doing that. So
it's an interesting one with Ronaldo, man, because it even all started off funny. I ain't gonna lie, I was excited when Ronaldo was coming. I know many fans were too, and there was a few fans as well. Actually, not even a few, there was a good proportion of fans that didn't want him here. But it all started off, the red flags are there because this guy was willing to go to City. He was en route to City, and then Sir Alex Ferguson calls him up and says, "Yo, Younger, my son, like, don't disobey your father's orders." And then he said, "Yes, sir." And then he came to Manchester United. But think about it.
That Ferguson guy, too. We need to speak about that guy, Speak about that guy. Man. What was that all about? Is he part of the recruitment team?
Bro,
but
he's a legend, he's a so-called legend. He was going to go to Manchester City.
Yeah, I wanted him going in the summer. I really wanted him to go in the summer, man, because I just knew this is just like Ronaldo, and I feel like the manager wanted the same thing too in the summertime too, regardless of what he was saying, because of the way in which he wanted to play, pressing from the front, needing like a target man that can hold on to the ball. Ronaldo just did not fit his plans, and unfortunately too, he could not get the best of midfielders too that could literally be providing him with the sort of chances that he needed too. He missed preseason, so they couldn't work on how to find a game plan to suit Ronaldo's game. So the team wasn't really built around him too. So that was another bad thing too. And then after that, it was just like, look, I got a striker in Martial that I'm going to start the season with. He knows how to press from the front. He can be a target man. So I kind of like plan my team around that. So it was very hard for Ronaldo to come in and cover for Martial even when he get injured, because the team was playing to Martial's strength. And that's why we struggled at the beginning of the season, because we had to change the way in which we played to shoot a different type of striker. And even up to now, we still haven't been able to do that, So it's just one of the questions. To me, Man United, we go a month they need to resolve this issue before Ronaldo returns. Don't leave it until he returns to try to resolve it, because that's not good. Whatever the decision is, whether he's staying, whether he's going, get it resolved. And if that's the case, he doesn't even have to return back to the club if he's not going to stay here, because let's not forget the World Cup finished on the 20th of December. After that, there's still a few more days to go into the transfer market. So it is just this what it is. But
my final thoughts on this Ronaldo thing is, look, like, we spent a lot of time talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, and I feel like Ronaldo, it's just not fitting in for what our team is not about individual players. It's about the team collective. And what we've seen is unity. We've seen unity in the team right about now. We've seen togetherness. Do you know what I mean? And we ain't seen it in a long time. And right about now, we're talking about Ronaldo. Look, the season before that, it was Pogba. Do you know what I mean? It's Greenwood not too long. Like, there's always someone or something that is becoming the hot topic for Manchester United. And I feel like we've done well to like move away from that. And you saw what's come out in the reports with Pogba and his brother and all of them things. And you know what I mean? I feel like we just need to move away from that. And I think maybe like Ronaldo, he may not be the last one, but he's a big issue that we need to just rectify so we can move on and we can focus on, like, look, Arsenal ain't got no big stars. Do you know what I mean? They're doing their thing, man. Like, we don't need all of this wahala, bruv. Like, we just need to be able to just keep it calm and just stay away from the media. Like, the media they're just hounds, bruv, looking at Manchester United, waiting for the next big thing. Amazon is pissed that they didn't do a documentary on us. Instead, they went to Arsenal, because we would have sold out arenas with this type of thing. We would have sold out copies.
Like when you have Ronaldo say he didn't know who Ralph was, that was box office itself, man. And he's right, man. You know what? That one I agree with him though, man. How does a guy who is not even a coach or hasn't managed for a very long time get a Manchester United manager's job? That is ridiculous, man. And I agree with that statement, man. That's just poor. Only Man United, how do you make a guy who is not coaching, who is not a manager, get a manager's job at Man United? Especially after appointing Ole, who was inexperienced. After that, you give Ralph the job too.
You know what? It's glad to see that we're not crazy when we think as fans, like, because we were all thinking this as well. Like, how did Ralph Rangnick, like, to be honest, tell a lie, I was thinking, who is this guy? But I heard of his pedigree. I heard of him being referred to as the godfather that teached Pep and all of these things. And I got excited. I heard him speak, and I was just like, right, this guy sounds like a
we philosopher. Are desperate, isn't it? We were desperate, so we desperate. Will go with it.
But then it started to sink in, especially when he wasn't winning games and he was just getting L's, and then he'll start to think, yeah, this guy ain't managed in like over a decade. His main skills are up like in the board. And then it started to hit home, and really and truly Ronaldo's echoing exactly what the fans were thinking, like especially towards like the latter end of his reign. So it's good to hear, that he's speaking in a way. He was speaking a lot of the topics that the fans were speaking. So he's got that message out, but
sometimes the truth hurts, and let's be honest, he said a lot of things we agree with, but it's just the delivery and the timing.
Yeah, but then it's not that, Edwin. It's finished. Look, all I'm just saying is, and then this is my message to especially the fan base, and I'll continue to echo it too, Let's not make just the big what he said about the manager become the headline. The main headline is Cristiano Ronaldo think Manchester United is being run bad. And I think that's the narrative that we should also kind of like stick with, because this is a guy that's leaving. He said, look, I'm leaving and I care about myself, but in terms of like going, I'm going to literally give the fans what they want in terms of like needing a voice to speak up for them. And he done that too. The rest of what he said about the manager and stuff like that, if he still stays again, then that's a big issue. But if he's leaving...
Do you know what the theme is though? It's such a theme though, isn't it? From all the managers that are bold enough to speak, eliminate Moyes, eliminate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the legends like Carrick and Giggs that had their little mini stints. You got Louis van Gaal, you got Mourinho, you got Ralph Rangnick. You had all of these guys saying these things, and now you have Ronaldo.
Ibrahimovic said the same thing too.
They all say it.
Yeah, no, it's true. The first one that said it, and everyone thought it was mad, was Mourinho. Remember from early, he was saying Pogba's not good enough, and everyone was thinking he's being a hater. But everything he kind of said played
even
out.
Pogba agent even said it too. Pogba agent was talking about how Woodward's done business and how it wasn't good to finish. They've always been echoing.
Bro, not even that. Even he was the one that got his name again. He's the one that got recorded by the fans in the pub. Is it Murta?
Richard Arnold.
Richard Arnold. Even Richard Arnold said it about Mandem like Woodward and them, even about their own internal hierarchy. So it's just like, this is evidently true. Like everyone that gets into the inner circle of Man United, gets a bit of understanding of how it's run, will tell you that it's a mess, and yet there's still people that are sitting there pretty and not budging. That's the Glazers. The change that needs to happen is with them. And you're right, I think like what Ronaldo was doing, like I know everyone's got anger for what he done, and he makes it about himself. I've heard him be called a narcissist, I've heard him be all sorts, but what the thing is the fundamentals of all of this all stem back to him he shouldn't have been appointed in the first place. Us fans can get excited 1 minute, upset another minute. This is what we do. We're fans, but we're not here to be running clubs. We're not here to be the ones to be making those good decisions, whether we like it or not. That's what they're there for. And quite frankly, these men are not making the right decisions, because they're bringing in guys like Ronaldo. 12 months later, look, all of this is happening. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. You should have been building for the future. There's a lot of mistakes that's happened in the past, and this all stems from them. So I'm hoping that the fans get back on it again, man. The fans get back on it again, because it is the Glazers, man. It is the Glazers. That rap.
If this is a movie, if this is a movie, it should end by the owners literally say, look, what Ronaldo has said was untrue. We do run a club bad, and we're gonna help the manager strengthen in January. But it's not gonna be like that, is it? It's still gonna end up like whatever Ronaldo is gonna say is gonna end up being true, because we are not run well, and he will come and go like a lot of players have done the last 10 years, and we have had the same problem, man.
Let's wrap it up. So look, I'm wishing my guys all the best in the World Cup. Look, who you got, Edwin? Just one team. Who you got winning the World Cup?
Man, I'm Ghana, mate, through and through. Like,
excluding Ghana.
No, I'm not excluding Ghana. GH, win or lose, that's what I'm supporting. England, what, bro? England, what? Bro, GH, man.
Look, it's simple, isn't it? With the World Cup, it's simple, man. Ronaldo is done anyways, and Ghana is going to prove that this guy is done. Bruno Fernandes long ball is not going to work against Ghana. That can't control a game for Man United, let alone for Portugal. The Lord cannot attack, cannot cross to save his life. And that Pelistri guy play for Man United cannot play. He's washed, man. He's washed. And World Cup, we're going to show them, man. We're going to show them. But you know what? I think it's best that we take a break from all these minors and just enjoy the World Cup.
Yeah, man.
It's a tricky one, Everybody seems to be going for Brazil, Argentina. I just feel like someone else will win it. I just don't know who.
Yeah.
But I just feel like someone else will win it. To be honest with you, I don't want Messi to win the World Cup. I really don't. I don't want Messi to win it. I really don't, man. I really don't. They already fake it to make a what do you call it, Copa America play every year so that Messi can win it. They should not rob us again of that, man. He's a great player, but I don't want him to win it personally.
I'll be there. I'll be there backing my players, and I'm sure you will be as well. Whether it be Ghana, whether it be your Man United players as well in the World Cup. Just a neutral game. Don't get upset, Edwin. I'm not saying raw like against Edwin.
So you're going to be backing Portugal over us.
What, you can't back a neutral game? Like, I'll back a neutral game. Like,
wait, who are you supporting during the World Cup?
Look, I would love to see Ghana do their thing. Obviously, it's going to come with a lot of banter in it because Nigeria, Ghana in it. But I wouldn't mind Ghana doing their thing. Real talk. When it comes to the World Cup, like, when Niger gets knocked out, the next team I look to is Ghana. When Ghana gets knocked out, then I start looking at another West African team. And then outside of that, it's just any African team. And then outside of that, I start moving to like, you know what I mean? Then it's a toss up between England and who's still in the tournament, where my Manchester United players are in, whether it be Brazil.
Italy qualify.
They didn't. A lot of the Man United players are not even going to play. Delor's going to be warming bench. Anthony's going to be warming bench. Like, a lot of them are not going to play, man. Casemiro's going to play. Casemiro's definitely going to play. Fred is going to play, unfortunately, for Brazil. But
Shaw's going to play.
Shaw is going to play. Maguire's going to play. But it's just what it is. The key. Rashford is not playing. Rashford is not
I
starting.
don't think he'll play.
Really?
They'll
I
play
don't think
Grealish.
he's
They'll
back.
play Grealish ahead of him.
No, not
Okay.
even Grealish. I think it's going to be Saka and Sterling. Or
Yeah.
even Mount go there. They want to be tracking back. Rashford ain't tracking back. Saka is playing Saka over there, man. So,
I think you'll get. I think you'll get minutes though. Maybe
They'll
I don't know.
get
If you'll
minutes.
get minutes.
definitely not. Yeah, you get minutes, but I don't see Rashford starting yet. But we'll see anyways, though. But we've got a whole lot of work up to look forward
Yeah,
to, man.
we'll keep an eye on it, man. We'll assess how our teams our players are doing in the World Cup, man. That'll be the next videos because it's a long break, man. So we've got to definitely keep track of that, man. And then
we'll be doing some scouting on some players too, and I will send it to my connections at United so that they can sign some players, man.
Look, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Leave a like, drop a comment, share it, whatever you want to do. But remember to tune in, man, to the next episode. OT99. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.